Monty, you have been so instrumental in kind of pointing me in the right direction. And
it was about looking at your character defects in spirituality.
It's the integration of clinical practices with the 12 steps.
It's an absolute pleasure. He certainly knows a lot of people. He's got a lot of energy. And sometimes when you don't have so much energy, he picks you up and carries you.
Having the Monty Man there certainly helps.
This is one of the places that is about the business of the solution.
The views expressed on this special broadcast of the Take 12 radio show do not necessarily reflect those of KHLT Recovery Broadcasting or its affiliates. KHLT is not affiliated with any particular 12-step fellowship.
Now here's that guy who's getting less popular minute by minute. Your host, the Multi-Man.
Well, greetings, recovery family. How in the heck are ya? Welcome aboard the Good Ship Recovery here at Take12Radio.com on your internet dial, broadcasting to you from the studios of KHLT Recovery Broadcasting in beautiful downtown Albany, Oregon, broadcasting worldwide over the internet. If this is your first time with us, welcome aboard. And I hope that this week on our Friday show, which we have a different show every day of the week, but Friday is specifically for interviews. I hope that you stick with us and you listen through the whole thing. If you have to pause the show, that's fine. Just go ahead and pause it, and you can pick it up later if you want to. Rewind and burn copies of it. Do whatever you like. There's 3 ways to listen to this show, and I tell you this for those of you who are on your smart device, your smartphone or tablet or whatever. Our web address is take12radio.com, and you can go there on your computer. But if you're on your smart device, you can click on the download MP3 link. You can tap on that. A play button will pop up, and you can click on that and listen to the show. You can click on, if you're listening on an iPhone, you can click on the play button, and it'll start playing. Or you can click on the play button on the YouTube box, because we're now broadcasting on YouTube as well. Well, welcome to the show, and I want you to know that I have never been to a donkey basketball game. Have you? I never have been, but I'm going to be going because there's something coming up here, and it's particularly for people who are local here in the Albany area, but you too can participate if you'd like to donate. There's a donkey basketball game going on Tuesday, April 1st at the Lynn County Fair and Expo Center. And this is to help defray family expenses for Coach Jason Henkel of South Albany High School. He's one of these coaches that everybody loves. The kids just love this guy. He's done a tremendous amount of work. Well, he is living with stomach cancer, and treatment can be very expensive. And so we're trying to raise awareness for that. Tickets are $10 for adults, $6 for students. And children 4 and under is $4. And what you can do is you can go to South Albany High School. Just Google South Albany High School, Albany, Oregon, and you can contact them, and you can donate if you want to. Send somebody who can't afford to go. And if you're from the area, check it out. $10 for a game of donkey basketball to watch the whole thing. And there's a meal included. You can't beat that. And from what I understand, donkey basketball is pretty bizarre. And for those of us who have lived in the bizarre, if you haven't experienced donkey basketball, I guess it's the thing to do. All right. Listen, don't forget our cartoon caption contest, April 1st is going to be launching on April 1st for the cartoon for April. And you want to cash in on that thing because you could win a recovery DVD and CD from recovery comedian Mark Lundholm, who is graciously sponsoring that contest. So check that out. Just go to take12radio.com, click on recovery cartoons, and there you go. All right. My guest this week is a gentleman that I met online, like so many of us meet nowadays. And I'm going to go in a direction that most broadcasters fear to tread. And that is in the direction of Facebook. Many people have different opinions about Facebook, especially in the recovery community. There's arguments about anonymity and tradition violations and all that kind of stuff that come mostly from people that really don't know what they're talking about, in my humble opinion. But because remember, anonymity does not mean secrecy, my friends. It's our public relations policy that's based on attraction rather than promotion, not our personal stories, not sharing with each other, not that kind of thing. Try to remember that. But I am in favor of internet networking when it comes to recovery. I really am. I mean, why not? The more, the merrier. Let's. The reason people don't know that the 12-step model works, for example, is because most of us have been hiding in the basements and church halls of our 12-step meetings because we don't understand the true meaning of the anonymity tradition, and we won't tell anybody. And that's crazy. So I am all for Facebook, and particularly this Facebook website called Relapse Prevention. Mike Vedovato, did I say that right, Mike Vedovato?
Yes, that's correct.
I did it. I can't believe I did it. Mike Vedovato is really the lead facilitator of this site. This site has been around for a long time. The last I checked, which was this morning, it had 21,102 registered members. And it's probably gone up since then. Mike, welcome to Take 12 Radio, my friend.
Thank you, Monty. Thank you very much.
You bet. Now, how long have you been doing this thing with Relapse Prevention?
5 years, almost to the day.
5 years. And did it take off that quickly, or did it take a while?
At first it didn't really pick up that fast. I started it with like about 10 people just to stay connected.
Yeah.
I was working out of town, and it just kind of took off, and it's going hundreds of people a day.
And it's amazing because just a couple of days ago I checked that it was 20,000 members, and then I checked this morning and it's 21,000 members. I mean, that thing is growing like wildfire. And that
certainly is.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive. Well, because I want to talk more about relapse prevention and also the other site solutions. But before we do that, though, talk to us a little bit about Mike. Mike, you're doing pretty good today. I mean, you're hanging in there. You're doing the recovery thing, clean and sober, doing service work, obviously evident by this website. But things were not always like that, right?
That's for sure.
So what was going on?
I struggled for a lot of years, in and out.
Yeah.
Basically, I wasn't willing to do the work. I knew everything, and I just, I really, I fought it tooth and nail. I looked for what was wrong with everything, trying to find discrepancies in the big book, all that neat stuff, just like anybody that really just doesn't want it.
Right, right.
And, it just, basically I see it all the time, and I recognize it now because I was that guy, I was looking for what was wrong with everything, and trying to discredit everything in the big book and any recovery program for that matter.
And so the contempt prior to investigation was your MO.
Pardon? Sorry?
The contempt prior to investigation was your MO.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I knew better. I knew it all.
Yeah. Were you always like that though, even as a young adult?
Absolutely. The big book claims it's not for the brainstorm. And, I was that guy, right? In grade 4, the teacher accused me of being overly highly opinionated.
Sure. I understand. I have been accused of being that overly opinionated 12-stepologist who gets less popular as the days go by. So I get it, man.
Right.
I get it.
Really.
So before you got into the recovery scene, some things weren't too pretty, right? I mean, go into as much detail as you feel comfortable with, but was it narcotics and alcohol? Was that what was going on?
Drugs and alcohol.
Yeah.
It started with alcohol and pot, just like most people.
Sure.
And it just progressed, and it got to where, I thought I had it all under control, and, everything came crashing down several times, and, I thought, I'll just clean up my act a little and regroup, and everything will be okay, and I can drink like normal people, and, I can go out and, celebrate on a Friday or Saturday or all weekend, and, I'll brush myself off and rest Sunday night, and I'm good to go Monday back to work and all that. I probably, because of my stubbornness, I maintained that lifestyle for a lot longer than a lot of people do.
Mm-hmm.
But I suffered for it, just the stubbornness and thinking that, everything was going to be okay, and just total denial, right?
Right. So was there a specific event that took place that got you focused on getting well?
I think it was a series of events.
Okay.
A half a dozen impaired charges, as many driving while disqualified charges, and the area I live in, they really, I don't know about where you're at, but they really frown on that. And,
sure.
They don't just slap you on the wrist for it after a half a dozen times. So, I was basically doing life on the installment plan.
And so are you living in the same vicinity that you grew up in?
Yeah, within a few hours, yeah.
Yeah.
I've actually just recently moved a couple hours away, and I run addiction services here. It's basically a recovery society. We try to help people here, and I think it's a little different here than what I'm used to.
Sure.
There isn't a lot of facilities here, and we just saw there was a need here, and so a few weeks ago I was asked to come here and run it, and I'm here.
Well, that's excellent. Can you give the name of the organization?
Yeah, it's called Lifeline Addiction Services.
Lifeline Addiction Services. Is there a website for that?
There is a Facebook group.
Okay.
Called Lifeline Addiction Services.
Okay, we'll get a link up to that on Take 12 Radio. Well, excellent, Mike. I'm so glad that you're doing well and that you're willing to serve as much as you do. You said something that was very interesting. You said that you've seen a lot of, stuff that, and I'm going to paraphrase now, but there's a lot of stuff going on in today's 12-step support meetings. You could go into a meeting and you could swear that what's being said in the meeting is totally opposite of what's being in the book. True?
Absolutely. And right at the noon meeting today, it's the same thing. And they just don't talk about the solution.
Mm-hmm.
Or, the big book wasn't mentioned once. And if I want the opinion of an alcoholic, I'll go to a bar. And if I want the opinion of a drug addict, I'll go to a crack shack.
Yeah.
If I want to get well, I'll go to the big book, and what's worth for millions in there. So
sure.
Sure. We all know addicts and alcoholics have all the opinions in the world, and that's fine. Not in the meeting, it's not, as far as I'm concerned.
Right, because that should be the one place where you're getting the truth spoken as it was written.
Relates to the big book, absolutely.
Yeah, you bet. Do you think that is, you think we're getting in trouble with this, or do you think it's going to turn around? Do you think it's going to get any better?
I believe so. I think that people are realizing that, the rate that AA, that the success rate that compared to 40 years ago,
right?
People are looking at that. They're saying, there's something going on here. We need to change it and just get back to basics.
Sure. You bet. One of the things that I've noticed over the years is that it has become, and not just your mothership, not just AA, but a lot of different 12-step support meetings. And I say that because there's a difference between the fellowship and the program. And just like there's a difference between our relationship with God and a group of people that meet in a building. I mean, you can hear two different things going on. But one of the things I noticed, and we talk a lot about this on our shows, we have to be careful that we don't become so man-centered that we forget what the solution really is, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. We can become 12-step dependent instead of what the steps are trying to show us.
Thought dependent, exactly.
Yeah, you bet.
And what I also see, and with all due respect, there's a lot of good treatment centers, recovery centers, and all that. But when they tell you, "Oh, do a step a month and you'll be okay," I'm sorry, but they're there to keep you sick. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
People are. I'm not going to make any friends saying this. Keep you sick and keep that money coming in. I can't help but notice it. It's a revolving. The area I lived in all my life, there's 200 recovery houses in a 10-mile area, and I would say 90% of them are nothing but a revolving door. People are court-ordered there. They don't really want to be there. It's a lot nicer to go to a co-ed recovery house than to sit as a cellmate.
Sure.
Right?
And speaking of that, we're going to take a short break here, by one of our sponsors here who does do it right.
Sure.
And that's a nice thing. There are some some places that really they treat the whole person. It's long term. They're gender specific, and they're sticking to the book. And when that happens, things work out. But you're right.
Things happen. That's right.
Things happen.
Things happen.
So we're going to take a short break. When we come back, more with my guest, Mike Vedovato. Great, Vedovato. I'm going to get that of the Facebook website Relapse Prevention when we come back. Don't go away.
Origins Recovery Centers provides integrated inpatient treatment for substance abuse and co-occurring disorders. At Origins, clients receive expert medical, clinical, and spiritual care individually designed for their needs. Our clients leave Origins with the foundation upon which they will build the rest of their lives. Call now to speak with an admissions specialist. Our toll-free number is 888-843-8935. That's 888-843-8935. Origins, delivering real solutions for real families.
You and I know all too well how talented folks in recovery are. KHLT Broadcasting, the Take 12 Recovery Radio Show, and the Recovery Broadcasting Network are handing you the opportunity to share some of that talent. If you've ever written your own songs and have always wanted to share them publicly, here's the chance to share your talent with thousands of people all over the world through internet radio. For the next several months, the Monty Man will be reviewing songs written and performed by people in recovery. Whether you're an accomplished musician or a novice, he wants to hear from you. All forms of music will be considered. Adhering to federal copyright laws and possible contractual agreements, some restrictions may apply.
We have returned, and we are with Mike Vedovato. He is really the lead facilitator. Are you the creator of Relapse Prevention, or was that there?
Absolutely. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're the founder of this thing.
Absolutely.
And okay, so let's talk a little bit about this. You touched on it really briefly, but why relapse prevention? What was your goal into establishing this thing?
Okay, it started as I worked in an oil rig camp, and I was away from everybody that I had contact with in recovery, and I just wanted to stay in contact with a few key people in recovery, and it sounded like a good idea. Like a few weeks before I started the group, I never couldn't even turn on a computer by myself.
Wow, really?
Yeah, I actually took a 2-week computer class, and I passed it, and the instructor had to make me an email account and a Facebook account.
That's funny.
And yeah, it's hilarious actually, and I believe I was directed to do this. I had no knowledge of it, and I'm still on a huge learning curve. People think I know about computers and I know about the internet. I'm really just really lame at it. A few things I do know I am okay at, but for the most part I have 12 administrators, and they're without them the group wouldn't run.
Yeah.
Bottom line. Yeah,
you bet. Well, good for you. It's good to be surrounded around people that can help hold us up when we're doing this kind of stuff, and people that know what they're doing. I know that I laughed when you said about not knowing about computers and that kind of thing, because we're now in our, well into our 9th year of broadcasting, but it was probably about 15 years ago, I swore I would never touch a computer. I'm not getting near those things, man. You ain't going to get me get on that. And then one day it just happened and I got the bug, but I'm still learning a lot too. Yeah. So okay. So you started this thing. Was there very many sites like this on Facebook at that time?
There wasn't a lot that I knew of. There wasn't a lot, and the ones that were there weren't really offering a solution. They were more, and it's still a huge part now, is just fluffy, inspirational. And I keep telling people, and we've got it down to Delroy, like, when you find a picture that can get and keep me clean, please send it to me. And it kind of gets the message out there that, that's not, if you want a fluffy, inspirational group, go to those ones, right? If you want the solution, come and talk to us. So, and it seems to be working for us.
Yeah. Well, and that's not always easy to, not only is it not always easy to tell the truth about what's really going on, but many times it's really not easy to hear it. And do you think with the innovation of the internet that it's helping get the point across because we're maybe not so much in their face? Or
absolutely. Well, like I think if what you're referring to was, you touched upon it. I think on your intro there about anonymity and all that stuff. I don't know if that's what you're referring to now, but from my experience is I did recovery in a little area, and I call it the Surrey recovery bubble, and I was stuck on stupid. Really, and a lot of people there were too. And the minute I got the views and ideas and different viewpoints of people from around the world, I developed a real broader knowledge base. And like anybody, I had to take all information available to form my own opinions of, okay, well, do I really want to do the 12-step program? There is other programs out there, and our guidelines make it clear that we're open to all kinds of recovery, all forms, but we have found that this 12-step program is what works for us.
Sure. Go ahead.
And the big book says we come to AA as a last resort. Well, you know what? Hopefully we can keep you interested until that time. Or, if you find something that works for you, that's great. Share it with us. I'm open to listen. And most people are, right? We get the odd one that's hardcore, and, they just, if it's not in the big book, it's not true. So, that's fine. But, we just found that, for the most part, I would say at least 90% of the people that are actually active in the groups at all times, it's the 12-step program. That's what's working for them in their lives.
Because and you said it very well. I mean, there are people that are not, for lack of a better term, and I'm sorry if I offend anybody, that just aren't the real deal. They're not. They don't have the obsession of the mind. They don't have the allergy of the body. They just needed some basic life skills, and they needed to grow up. And they can do that. And if you can do that, right on, because this is a lot of work if you can't. But there are some of us, like you and I, we needed this process. And
absolutely.
Yeah. And I'm so glad.
AA saved my life, bottom line, and I don't make any qualms about that.
Yeah. Well, okay, so when you started getting in the higher numbers of membership, did you find that some of the controversy and stuff? I know that when you start something like this, you go through a honeymoon and then you go through a crash too.
Absolutely.
Tell us about that.
It's a daily thing.
Yeah.
We've got people that just really are there, and and I try to, we try to offer them a solution, and it's the same thing over and over. And I relate to it because I was stuck there also for a lot of years, where, I wanted to change the program to suit me. I wanted things to go my way. I wanted it to work, to make it, mean what I thought it meant, and it didn't work. And, I was a chronic relapser for many years.
Mm-hmm.
I could go, and I even went 3-4 months at a time without doing step work. 3-4 months, white-knuckling it, hating life, hating everybody in it, and, things came crashing down. And then, I'd brush myself off and try again. And, each time I picked up a little more, something more, and finally I just went, okay, you know what, I need to listen to somebody that actually knows what they're talking about.
Yeah, it's usually, it's like the book says, it's in full desperation that we concede to our innermost selves that it's time to surrender.
I'm done. Yeah. I'm my way gets me dead.
and there's something about denial that can be life-saving. Sometimes I wonder if, I believe that we can help raise the bottom for people. I really do. But I think
absolutely.
I think that sometimes some of us needed to try everything our way and get it out of the way so we could come to a realization that our way wasn't working.
And that's exactly what my situation was, is that I needed, again, we come to AA as a last resort. It was my last resort.
Sure. So,
and it wasn't a resort when I got there. That's for sure.
Yeah. I want to tell the listeners how to get to this site. The address, and correct me if I'm wrong, is facebook.com/groups/relapse prevention and the number 2. Is that correct?
Absolutely. That's it.
Yeah, because there is a relapse prevention, but that's a different site.
That's some disgruntled ex-members, and there's 40 or 50 people. There's about a half a dozen of them, and they're just imitation ones, and that's fine, But
sure,
there's no real. There's like 40, 50 disgruntled ex-members that just don't want to abide by the guidelines, and they're pretty simple guidelines. No racism, sexism, just regular stuff that Facebook rules. So it's
basically just basically don't be a jerk. I've had
exactly.
Yeah, I've had people on my blog and stuff, and I tell them, I said, I don't really have to give you a big long list of rules. You know what's appropriate and what's inappropriate. Come on,
Right. And then there's the anonymity of being behind a screen, and the odd person thinks that they can hide behind a screen and do what they want, and it's kind of sad, but there's those people out there, and I'm sorry to say, but we weed them out really quick. And every now and then I go through the ban people list, and I'll unban 100 or 200 people, and take it from there and give them a chance, because people do change.
Yeah, you bet. Sure they do.
We're finding that they're the kind of people that they're there to cause problems, and it just interferes with what we're trying to do, and it's sad. But there are groups that welcome that kind of behavior, and you know what? That's good for them, right? They're welcome there, and they've got there's a place for them too. Just not in our.
You bet. Well, let me say this about one of the things that I've noticed there that I think is so great, and I think a lot of this may have to do with the title. It kind of spurs on conversation and people opening up about their struggles. We're all at a different place in this journey, and some folks really struggle. I mean, you did, I did. I was the 30-day wonder for years, and so it's a place back when I was doing every 30 days. We didn't have the internet where you could do this anonymously to the degree we can now.
Yeah.
And so that's why I'm in favor of it. But what I noticed was a real positive response when people would would write in how much they were struggling, how much they were hurting. They're just right on the brink of relapse. They don't know if they're going to make it, or maybe they did relapse. And I haven't found what I have found in the past with some websites. I haven't found a harsh, judgmental, well, you know what, kid, if you had, put the cotton in your mouth and shut up and all that stuff.
That doesn't work. That doesn't work.
Yeah, I don't see that there at Relapse Prevention, and I'm really glad.
It doesn't work, yeah.
Yeah.
It really doesn't. And, I mean, I was told that at meetings, and I've walked out. I've been kicked out of meetings for my view of being told that. And yes, I was wrong in doing that, but, I'd like to think I've changed people's opinion on what's acceptable and not. I mean, like, nowhere in the big book does it say you have to be an asshole.
Exactly. And the deal of it is, most of us, when we came into the rooms, whatever rooms you came into, when we came into them, you could crush us with a word. One more.
Already broken. We're
already broken.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so we didn't need somebody to say, you don't know anything, shut up. Well, I've been being told that by my older brother and my abusive father for the last 14 years. I don't need you telling me. So it is really refreshing to be able to go to a social networking site and see some positive reinforcement. And it doesn't mean that we coddle people, but it means that along with our gentleness, it's tempered. I mean, our firmness, it's tempered with a gentle spirit. And I think that's what the founders, their whole thing was about. We're going to take another break, and we're going to come back. And I want to talk to you about how people can get involved with this, because it is a closed group, and what that means and what it doesn't mean. Okay, folks, don't go away. More with my guest, Mike Vedovato. I'm going to say that really fast. Mike Vedovato. There we go. Mike Vedovato of Relapse Prevention here at Take12Radio.com. The address, Facebook.com/groups/Relapse Prevention 2. Follow the link here at Take 12 Radio. We'll be right back.
Men, women, and their families experience tremendous pain and suffering due to the struggles they face from substance abuse and its co-occurring mental health challenges. They need to find a safe place for peace and healing. Therapia Addiction Healing Center was born out of a deep desire to provide that safe and powerful healing environment. Therapia exists to help people recover from addictions by developing and maintaining healthy, meaningful relationships with God, self, and others. To speak with an addiction specialist, call 1-855-652-4325. That's 1-855-652-4325. Or visit our website at www.therapia.net. Therapia Addiction Healing Center, restoring lives one step at a time.
Serenity Springs Recovery Center, located on the beautiful east coast of Florida. A unique facility that is committed to providing exceptional individual care in small group settings while utilizing their experienced and dedicated clinical and support staff of licensed therapists and doctors. Visit their website, serenityspringsrecovery.com, or call 386-423-4540. Serenity Springs, making a life-changing investment into your recovery. Mike Vedovato is our guest this week here at Take12Radio.com on Interview Friday. Remember, this show will be up all week long on Friday's page, and then very late the following Thursday, it will update to our next guest. But you can go and listen to this show and other archive shows indefinitely on our archives page here at Take12Radio.com. All right. Okay, so if you're listening to this on YouTube or watching on YouTube, we're flashing the link on a regular basis during the interview up there on the screen. Otherwise, you can just look here at Take 12 Radio at the base and find the link to Relapse Prevention. Mike, this is a closed group. What does that mean?
It means that only group members can see what's actually posted in it, due to the fact that some people don't need their employers knowing their personal business, and basically, you can see who's in the group, but you can't see what's being posted. There's some pretty sensitive stuff, and I just prefer to keep it that way. Some groups are open; anybody can see what's going on in there, and I don't think that's appropriate.
Right.
So I've decided just to make it a closed group.
Well, good for you. That's good because, and I wanted to make that clear because some people think that a closed group means they can't join. What it is, it protects them.
Absolutely. And all you have to do is just do a Facebook search of Relapse Prevention, and you're going to come up with a couple of different ones there, and it will be the first one that comes up usually, and it's got over 20,000 people. As you mentioned, it's one of the largest Facebook recovery groups out there. There is a couple larger. I think we're going to be up there with the top 3 or 4, and I mean there's a billion or whatever many people on Facebook, so I don't think it's going to start slowing down anytime soon.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I think what I do, what you do, and so many others, I think we got job security, brother.
Absolutely.
Oh man, I wish we could work ourselves out of a job, but I don't think that's going to be the case. And besides, it's good for us to do this stuff, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And also in the files section, there is hundreds and hundreds of files. You can download Step 4 sheets, workbooks, anything to do with the 12-step program, and a lot of people's stories, just anything recovery, and it's all in there. Obviously it's not everything, but pretty much anything. If you don't really need to go anywhere else. You can download a big book out of there. All kinds of stuff. It's so broad. I can download all the sheets, the worksheets, any information that I wanted to know about the big book or anything. There's even chapters from the big book in there. I just made it where somebody spoke something, I'll put it in there, and it's there permanently. Because I'm sure they're not the only person that could benefit from it. So.
Yeah, you bet. Lots of information and resources at Relapse Prevention. And by the way, folks, you can find the Monty Man 612 Radio there. I post regularly what shows we're broadcasting, and Mike has been so gracious to let us do that. That means a lot to me, Mike. It really does. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, you bet. Okay, so let's put that on hold just for a second. Let's move on over to solutions. Tell us about that.
Solutions is just it's a page, not a group,
right?
And we just found that everybody has a cause, has a business, has another page or group that they would like to promote, and it was getting to where the group was everybody's links to everything.
Yeah.
And it took away from it being a solution-based group. So I made the page. It's more of a reference. If you want this information, you go there. If you want to advertise your group, your website, your cause, your whatever, this is where you can post it. And, it was just a necessity. Also, I need to mention that we have another group that I started. There's only about 8,000, 9,000 people there now, and that's called Recovery Straight Up. And that I'm trying to make that more of an NA-focused. Some people like the NA program. I've done both. I took some from both. I just need to mention that for those people that really don't think that AA is for them.
And that's actually spelled recovery and then STR and then the number 8-up, correct?
That's correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's no duplicates of that one. So it's really easy to find. You just do a Facebook search once you're on Facebook, and it's the same format. We try to offer solutions, and like a lot of people that are AA centered are in there also. Nobody tries to convince you that you need to do one or the other. It's just some people are more comfortable in one program than the other, and we try to accommodate that.
Sure. And I'm so glad, because one of the things that we're getting ready to do is Mark Lundholm, who is an internationally known recovery comedian. He's going to be doing a show starting out once a month here at Take 12 Radio, specifically for the NA community in mind. Because you're right. Sometimes we still fall into that it's us against them thing. And okay, maybe there is some differences, but we're on the same side, for God's sake, right?
Same solution, identically the same solution.
Yeah, in fact, I think in the NA basic text, it says that we follow the identical path with a single exception, and that's just terminology.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, that's great. Good. So that's recovery straight up, STR8, number 8-up. And we'll flash that on our YouTube also and put that on the website as well. So what does what do these three sites and the work that you do, what's it do for Mike?
Well, I know for a fact that when I'm helping other people, it takes me out of self. I'm not thinking of, anything other than being of maximum service to fellow man. And, some days I go, gee, I must have been pretty bad to deserve this. And it's just, it's a good feeling when I get messages daily from people I've never heard of, never even seen them post in the groups, and they go, I know I've never posted in the group, but I've been reading every post for the last 3 years, and I'm 2 years clean now, and I don't think I could have done it without some of the insight and some of the information that I got from there, and I just want to thank you. And, it really just makes my day. It's just wow, it's all worth it. It doesn't matter how much chaos is in the groups and the commotion and you put 10 addicts or alcoholics in the same room and there's going to be problems, with thousands. It can really amplify fast. So it makes it all worthwhile.
Yeah, well, that's great. And I got to say, congratulations on your administrators for doing a fine job of filtering the nonsense, because it really is a joy to go there. I just don't see very much of the junk, and they got to stay on top of that to be able to do that, and that's such a good deal. Well, Mike, what are your plans for the future? Are you going to continue to put your energy into doing this web stuff? You got some other plans going on?
I have some other goals. I'm not really clear. I had a website going and it managed to get hacked. So I'm not clear if, it just obviously wasn't the right time for that. It was one of those self-made websites and didn't have the proper security features in place. So, when it's right, I'm going to go that route again. I'm not sure. I'm really kind of just still overwhelmed with all this. Maybe at some point, if it starts leveling off, I might look at doing something different. But for now, it seems to be working for me and a lot of other people. So I have to go with that. I'm going to stick with what's working for now.
Yeah. Well, good for you, man. Keeping your focus. You got your options open, but you're keeping your focus on the prize. You're doing what you need to be doing now, and it is a tremendous amount of work and dedication, discipline, and commitment. I congratulate you on that, because this is not the Mike of yesteryear, is it?
Absolutely not. And I'm glad you just mentioned that, because I was a taker. I was, it was me, just like most addicts and alcoholics. It was all about me, what I can get from you, from this, from that. And, thank God in the 12-step program that, it's a complete turnaround. I'm looking at, giving without expectations, which was like a foreign language to me. So yeah, it's amazing.
Well, congratulations again, my friend, and thank you so much I just thank God that we ran into each other and that we were able to connect. And you have an open invitation to come on the show anytime you'd like to and share your experience, strength, and hope, what's going on, what's new, what's old, whatever you want. You just let me know, okay?
Excellent. Thank you kindly.
Absolutely. All right, Mike, stay on the line. Folks, the address again, if you're just listening on audio, you're not sitting in front of a screen, is facebook.com/groups/relapse prevention 2. And or you can just go to Facebook and search Relapse Prevention. It'll be the first one that comes up. Over 20,000 registered members. Wow, that's that really says something. All right. Good stuff. Keep it going, Mike. Our friends that are out there that help support Take 12 Radio by your donations, we are totally 100% listener supported, and we get sponsorship grants here to keep us on the air from some wonderful people. If you'd like to be a sponsor, if you'd like to advertise with us, just click on the advertise link, and you can see the fine sponsors we have. You guys, we couldn't do it without you. We really couldn't. We just love you to death. All right. That's it for this week on Interview Friday. Until next time, this is the Monty Man along with Mike Vedovato. We're wishing God's perfect serenity for you. Bye-bye now.
This has been a broadcast of KHLT Recovery Broadcasting.
Kitty, 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 kitty.